Good afternoon, class. My name is Dr. Araipur. Welcome to your algebra course, Math 140, Beginning and Intermediate Algebra. I've sent several emails. Some of you may have explored the course already. This is the home page of your Canvas. So when we go to home page, I have put the numbers here. Number 1, 2, 3, so on and so forth. So number 1 is a welcome message. This is the message that I'm giving you.
Hello everyone, this is Dr. Araipur. I would like to welcome you to your online course.
Basically, welcome to your course. I am very happy to have you here. You can watch this later on. And I promise you, if you follow the instruction and the outlines that I have here for you, you will not only learn, you will pass with flying color, and you'll be more than ready to move on with your math courses. The second one is the class philosophy. I read the first sentence. This class is a community, and therefore we all have the same objective, and that is to learn. So the bottom line is we are all here to learn, and I'm hoping that we all can help one another. You can help your fellow students if a question comes up that you'll find it under the discussion forum. And I'm hoping that we are all here to learn and help each other. The next one is the announcements. The question, part number 3, announcements. Under the announcements, by the way, you can click on the announcements here or the announcement on the left navigation bar. Makes no difference. It takes you to the announcements. This is really for the purpose of those who wanted to start the course early. And I had the recorded orientation, exemption to orientation, welcome on orientation, welcome to your virtual course. There are more coming up, but for now, those were the first few that you could observe, and you're already here. Therefore, no need to bother with that. Number 4, follow the steps below, starting with the syllabus. So again, I can click on this syllabus here or on the left navigation bar, makes no difference. So if I click on that, then I see the syllabus. And it brings us here. Now, notice I have put different topics for you simply because nowadays the syllabi are getting longer and longer. And I understand sometimes students don't want to read the whole thing. So I want to spend a couple of minutes going over the whole thing. I suggest you come back and look at the topic of interest. For example, you may be interested to see what the grading policy is or what's the text and so on and so forth. So Math 140, section 743474, the course catalog, a description and a student learning outcome. In short, we will learn algebraic techniques, linear equations in 1 variable, in 2 variables, inequality, systems of equations, exponential and logarithmic equations, absolute value equations, and conic sections. The text is a free text. I have several texts here, most of which are really considered reference text because the course is set up that if you follow my PowerPoint as well as the video lessons, then you won't have any problem understanding the course, and that may be enough for you that you don't even have to open the text. However, I have a beginning and intermediate algebra text here for you. Again, these are all reference texts. I have elementary algebra. You can click on view online. And intermediate algebra. So various sections of those are being explored. I figured, if we have a number of texts, it would be helpful. Some students are big when it comes to reading the text. They're interested in that. some are not. It is absolutely your choice. As long as you can follow the modules and do well, that's all that matters. Class calendar, I will also have an Excel file right here. You will have access to it shortly. In the meantime, generally speaking, we stick with the Canvas and MOM, follow Canvas/MOM timeline for each module. Now, from now on, my open math, where you do your digital homework, I'm going to refer to it as MOM. As you can see, the first exam is coming up in a few weeks, and that's on Friday, 9/17. So here's what's going to happen. The day before the exam, we will have a review session from 4 to 6. Bear in mind, I will have this recorded and I will have it posted in case people can't show up, but it is highly recommended. The next day on Friday, I make myself available from 4 to 7 p.m. So I will be available from 4 to 7 p.m. in case you have any questions. The office hours that is posted on the homepage. You can take the exam anytime before it expires. Now, I said start no later than 9 p.m. I would even say 8 p.m. because maybe you'll be tired by then. It expires at 11:59. Normally you have 2 hours, but I highly recommend from 4 to 7. If you have a question, come and ask, then maybe take an hour of break and then start hopefully a little bit early because you don't want to take a chance. And this is the case for each and every one of the exams. I'm going to read this note because it's important for everybody to understand this. Attending review sessions is highly recommended to succeed in the course. However, all review sessions are recorded and become available under the Zoom recording shortly. They will also be posted under the recorded practice test tab. I'll show you in Canvas. I will be available during the designated exam time to answer any questions. However, students can take the exam later the same day after studying for some time. There will be no proctoral exam. There are more important stuff such as meeting and important dates, calculators. I have this under MOM, my open math, or here. This is a free online calculator, scientific calculator. I truly believe in free education. That's why I'm providing just about everything I can for you. Technical support, whether it's the publisher, the campus support, you can find it here. Math Success Center or the Tutoring Center is available to tutor you for free. We will discuss this further for SLA in a moment. And of course, they are open on campus as well as virtually nowadays. Grading policy. We will have 200 points from our homework, which takes place online via MOM or My Open Math. We have 5 hours of Student Success Center DLA SLA. For this course, students need to attend the Math Success Center virtually or in person, makes no difference. And you have to do it 5 times. Each time they say 1 hour, but it really takes less than that. I want 1 per module. There will be 5 modules. It has to be done before each module. And when you show up, you do the directed study or there is a class session. They make a note of your name and they will email me. So you don't have to do anything. When you show up, make sure you mention you're there for which course and for the purpose of DLA SLA. The next one, review participation discussion board, 50 points. That gives you, there are 5 of them that gives you 50 points. I show you where you find it and how you do it. There are 4 exams. Each one is 100 points. And the final exam, which is comprehensive, 300 points, giving us a total of 1,000 points. And so here's the grading curve. A, 90% or above. That means 900 points or more. B, 80% or above, 800 points or more. so on and so forth. That's how the grading takes place. There is no makeup exam unless something comes up and you let me know in advance by papers and documentations that are acceptable by campus. You have to take all the exams. If you do take all the exams, your lowest grade before the final may be replaced by the final exam score under the following cases. Number one, the final must be 80% or higher. Number two, homework and discussion board grades must be good, at least 90% or higher. Finally, when I do that, this action will result in a higher letter grade. In other words, if we change the lowest grade and the letter grade remains the same, it defeats the purpose of doing that. Basically, try not to do any late work. There is no late work for exams, but for the assignments, except the first one, you can do it within a few days for a 10% penalty. I highly recommend you stick with the program, because if you get behind on some work, it will make it worse for the rest of the course. And I highly recommend that you follow the schedule to be on the safe side. How much time do we need to study? I always recommend CSULB study 36, which says for every unit, you need 3 hours. This is a 6-unit course. 6 times 3 is 18. You need really a minimum of 15 hours, let's say. If you do 15 hours per week, you should be fine. And really, that's not a lot to ask. If you miss the orientation, you're already here, of course. Do not register with the publisher. Miss the first assignment or miss any of the exams, you will be dropped as a no-show. So the very first assignment, which is introduction to my open math, I will show you, that must be done right away. Then I have some information in case anybody needs it, such as DSPS, financial aid, and summary to succeed. We have the student office hours, Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. And here's the URL. You can find it under the syllabus as well as the home page of your Canvas. Normally, the best way to contact me is through email, and you'll find it that I answer your email immediately. Worst case scenario, within 24 hours. This idea of a supplemental learning, as I mentioned, SLA, DLA, it counts for 5%. It's either a workshop or directed learning activities. There will be more information coming from Math Success Center. As soon as the video becomes available, I will post it for you. I believe you already have access to the previous semester recording. And basic needs and just about everything else that one may need to find it in the syllabus. As I mentioned, it's a long syllabus. I understand that, but I have put them through topics, so it makes it easy for you to find the topic of interest. Going back to the home page, then it says modules. Again, you can click on the modules here or the modules on the navigation bar. Either way, it takes you here. Notice the very first one is your mom, my open math. Take a look up here. It says no need for course ID. And I mentioned that because every semester students ask, there is no need for a course ID simply because you are going to register from here. And I will go through that when I want to go over the homework. So I'm going to wait and I'm going to go back to this and explain how you do the homework from A to Z and how you register with that. But what else you can find under the module? Let's go back to the homepage first, and I want to come back to that. So under the modules, you can print the practice test, you can watch the PowerPoints, you can solve practice tests as you go through the PowerPoints, and then you can do the homework, as I mentioned. Note, homework is set up such that you watch some video lecture /lesson/assessment before starting each homework. Again, I will show you, you see how nice and easy the setup is. Practice test keys are here. Then we do the discussion forum. There is an optional multimedia text, sample test, and the exam. So let's go back under the modules because I want to look at this navigation bar for you too. And so under the modules, notice you have exam 1 module, exam 2 module, all the way to the end, which is exam 5 module. Module 5, my apologies. The reason I didn't call him exam 5, this is part of your final exam. The final exam is comprehensive. You study from the previous 4 exams and this new module, module 5, and you get ready for it. So for now, the only thing that matters, let's spend time on module 1 only. This way, we see what's coming up for the first exam. And by the time we finish that, we'll be very comfortable navigating the Canvas and MOM, and we don't worry about exam 2, it's coming up later on. For now, the very first thing is practice test. When you click on practice test, it brings it up. This is the one that you want to print. This is the only one that you print. Why is that? If you go through it, it takes you about 5 minutes to do the reading. That's all. It won't take you more than 5 minutes. I want you to see what module 1 covers and what is expected of you. As you do the sections, and I highly recommend you do 1 section a day. That's all it takes, 1, maximum 2 sections. And you'll see the course is going to be nice and easy. If you wait until the due date, or if you wait until the weekend, it will be a lot of work. So 1 or 2 sections per day, it's what I'm asking you to do. So you read that and you see what's coming your way. Then the next one is chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3. Those are all PowerPoints. You can look at one of them, go through that, finish it, and then do the homework, come back to chapters 2 and 3 in order. So 1 chapter at a time or a few sections at a time. If you look at the first chapter, this is a PowerPoint. You can watch it just the way it is, go through that. Or if you download it, if you like to download that and put it in slide mode, slideshow, step by step, the solution to each example will show up. So you see as though you're sitting in class and you see the steps. So we have the PowerPoints here. Here's the next one, here's the next one, here's the, so we have all the PowerPoints for chapter 1 here. Same thing for chapter 2. We have all the PowerPoints for chapter 2. And chapter 3, and that's all we are covering for the first module. So again, remember, we are just concerned with the first module for the time being. So print the practice test, go over chapter 1 for now. Then you do the homework in MOM, then you come back for chapter 2 and 3. There are cases that students just follow the video lessons and it works out for them. It is your choice. These are various resources available to you. Here's practice test 1 key. On the week of the exam, I'm hoping that you're done with all your work and you're basically reviewing for the exam. And of course, I'm hoping you show up for the exam review on Thursday. So take a look at practice test key. So not only I have given you the questions, I've given you the key. Make sure you check so you have it correct. In case there's a discrepancy, you come up with you find an error anywhere, please keep me posted. I will immediately fix the problem. All right, so going back to the home page. As I mentioned, I will do the homework last. So we looked at the practice test, PowerPoint, and the keys. What about the discussion forum? So let's go back. You can either click on discussion forum here, or you can go back to this navigation bar. Then discussion forum is right here. So what do you find first? Frequently asked questions. This takes 2 minutes of your time. Please read it because you may have a question which is already answered. For example, and I repeat, there is no need for course ID because you are registering through Canvas. And there are other questions that I've answered. If you have a question which pertains to you, it's private, please email me and I gladly answer it. Email me via Canvas. If it's a question that everybody can benefit from, you can put it here, I answer it. And in fact, I may add it to a frequently asked questions. Going back to the discussion forum, the next thing you find is the students' bios. So here's mine as an example, and you can put yours. I highly recommend you spend a couple of minutes reading your fellow students' bios. If you want to give them constructive advice and comment, please do so. I'm assuming we are all in it to learn something from one another. And please, only a nice, constructive, and polite advice and comments, all professional. Now, after that, notice what we have. Practice test number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are the forums that you need to do to receive 50 points. For now, we're going to concentrate only on module 1, therefore practice test 1. Notice what it says. You are required to post at least one question and its solution. Now, where do you find the question? You can even put it from practice test number 1 or any source of your choice, as long as the coverage is for the first exam from any source, it's fine. So how do we do that? How do we get the grades? Number 1, read all the post questions and solutions posted by others first, and pick a different question to post. No duplication is allowed. A question with one-word solution or definition is not acceptable. This gives you 5 points. You must write the question number if you're writing it from the practice test and copy down. You have to write the question. You can say, go back to homework 2.8 question number 9. That's not how it works. You have to write the question even if you go back to that homework or a practice test. Number 2, show all steps by using math equation. Now, this will give you 5 points. Number 2, find a similar problem online or on YouTube or on Khan Academy and post the link. That gives you 3 points. Finally, comment on or explain at least one classmate question that is either solved or is found. Now, it's important for you to understand the third part. Explain about what the question addressed and what you learned from it, and outline a few steps you learned as a result. A compliment is nice, but is not a comment. To receive a credit, write the name of your classmate. Here's an example. I picked up a question. I'm making up a question and I say this is question number 15 of the practice test. I'm solving it step by step, showing you the work with a proper mathematical language. Then I find a similar question on YouTube, how to solve linear equation with fractions. Then I'm commenting supposedly on John Doe's YouTube post, and you really want to do it in this fashion to receive all 10 points. Now, this may seem a lot, but trust me, it takes only a few minutes of your time. Now, on a daily basis, you come and you check this. You find either 1 or 2 new posts maximum. So you don't have to spend more than 5 to 10 minutes of reading per day. If you wait until the last moment, not only you may have a hard time finding a decent question, you're gonna have a hard time reading all those comments and questions. Trust me, if you do that, it will help you understand and learn the course much better. Going back to the home page, I want to discuss everything else that is there. And finally, I'm going to go back to the module. So You can find your grades here. Assignments, don't worry about the assignments here, just because basically everything is under the modules, as I said. Now, this is recorded. And by the way, Tech Connect Zoom, this is where you go to find the meetings when the meetings come up and we meet for the review sessions. It's coming up. Now, recorded practice test. Pay attention to recorded practice tests here. For fall 21, of course, we haven't done it. As soon as it comes up, I'll put it here, but there are some old recordings. Now, the order by which you find the questions may be slightly different, but most of the questions in practice tests in various orders can be found here in case. And I highly recommend you watch it. That is truly helpful. Multimedia text sample test. This one, again, everything, and I'm going to go back to the top because I want to show you that again, we have module 1, 2, 3, 4. You don't want to worry about those steps. Just if you click on module 1, over here, we have different PowerPoints, we have different class lectures. We also have the solution for this practice test in, again, a different order. Some of you may not need at all to go there. Some of you may find it interesting and helpful. Math Success Center. They have access to NetTutor, free math stat tutoring. They have a lot of resources here. I hope that you guys explore that. This is coming from Math Success Center. Now, what else is there that is interesting now? Going back, the next thing I want to do, and actually, after this discussion forum, remember, then you take the exam, which is again found under the modules, under my open math. Attend the office hours on Monday through Friday from 8 to 9. If you have any questions, all you have to click on this link and ask away. So the last thing, I want to go back to the modules. I'm going to put this in student mode. And this is where you register for MOM, my open math. If you ever had an account with them, you have a username, password, you put it in. If you don't, you create an account. You come up with the username, password, you put your name, you enter your last name, you enter your email address, you create an account. That's all you have to do. When you do that, if you click on it, it will take you to your course, Math 140. Now, the very first thing, mandatory assignment, intro to my open math. I want to show you what that is. This is going to help you get familiar with MOM. So my open math or MOM, it shows you how to enter your answers. It doesn't take more than 20 minutes of your time, but it is absolutely a must. And it's due within a few days, and I will drop anybody who hasn't done it. I highly recommend you do it today or tomorrow. Trust me, time flies by. Please do this. Although I've given you a few days, I recommend you do it immediately. So take a look, see what happens. If I click on it, right here, it says 13 points. That means 13 questions. By the way, don't worry about the points because they normally refer to the number of questions. Ultimately, the whole thing is a percentage. When the course is over, I look at the percentage. Let's say you got 90% overall on the homework, so 90% times 200 points. That would be your grade. So look at what they're asking you to do. These are the questions will help you learn how to input your answers in MOM or my open math. For example, I'm going to do the first one. It says enter this number. The moment I click on it, notice it gives me a math palette. So I'm going to put 44.5158. So I put the answer. The next one want us to do the rounding. The next one, division by zero, can't happen. It's undefined or it doesn't exist. So let's say I'm going to say submit question. See what happens. I want to show you what happens. Check mark says, okay, I did it right, but I haven't done the rest of it. So I need to do more. So for example, this one is 44 point. It says nearest hundreds. That means I want two of them, 5, 1. Since after 1 is 5, I'm going to change it to 2. And now I'm going to submit the question. Okay, just as an example. Enter the result of this one. This makes no sense. There is, you can write, if you click on it, it says it doesn't give you undefined class. So you have to put doesn't exist. If it gives you undefined, you put undefined. It's actually better terminology. But in any event, what I want to show you is, okay, I did a few questions, in this case, only one. And for some reason, something comes up. I'm not going to go to question number 2. I'm going to go here and I say done. See what happens. It shows me I did question 1. But from question 2 on is unattempted. So what do? I can resume or I can exit. If I exit, as long as the due date hasn't passed, I can go back. If I click on it, it gives me a chance to start again. And I can't resume if it's overdue. Okay, so if it's past due, I can't do that. So the very first thing is that. The next one is exams. And again, don't worry about that at all, because that's the last thing you want to do for now. You receive an email from me on the week of the exam. I give you the password, and you can take the exam anytime from the moment I send you the password until the day it's due, which is on a Friday. But I highly recommend you don't do that. Show up to my review session and then take it on Friday. Then this is a course description. You can read it, but notice this stuff. Okay, so all content in the course module, I'm reading this one, all content in the course modules folders, which include textbook section, some section may be omitted, not missing, videos, and set of homework exercises. Some videos are embedded within the homework, and some can be found in the beginning of the chapter. For most sections, not all of the text, you will find the following. Take a look. Video lessons. These assessments contain video lessons. After each video, there are 2 questions that correspond with the example in the video. Then you get practice, homework, or assessment, whatever they call it. These assessments contain additional problems beyond the type covered in the video lessons. Then I have this legend here. What I want you to notice, although the first one, take a look, normally 4 is a good number of weeks for a calendar. The introduction to my open math is due on Friday, but please do that sooner, because this is going to go very fast. Within 3 weeks, we have the first exam. Notice everything is due the day before the first exam. What does it mean? Do I have to do this the day before the exam? Absolutely not, because if you do, you will not make it. Instead, I would do 1 or 2 of my homework, 1 or 2 sections every day. Why have I put everything here? Because sometimes in the past, students have told me sometimes they couldn't get to the homework because they work until the weekend, and they would get on with it, and on a weekend, they would do maybe 5 sections or 10 sections. It's really not a good practice, but I didn't want to make it do on a daily basis, so some people miss on those. Please I can't repeat this. I can't emphasize this enough. Please don't do the homework on that day. Do them on a daily basis. Take a look every day. If you spread them, all you have to do is 1 or 2 sections. Really not bad. Then see module 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the license. Now, the work starts with module 1. But what is module 0? That's what I want to show you. Those are resources. First, there are several textbooks that I put here, beginning and intermediate algebra, elementary algebra, intermediate algebra. Everybody has seen it before. I've shown you. Then the scientific calculator online. Again, I repeat it. I don't want, and I can go back. I don't want you to pay for anything, so it is online. And this one is a short video showing you how to use it. So module 0, a lot of resources. What comes next? Late pass, calendar, gradebook, so on and so forth. How to use a late pass. If you click on it, it's a 2-minute video. I'm not going to go over that because it's hard to really play the videos here. So next one is the calendar. In case, I mean, if you click on this stuff, they become available here. That's really what the calendar tells you. My Open Math gradebook. It tells you how the gradebook works. And there are 2 things I want to explain here. That's why I put those pictures. Since the homework is weighted, the grade under pass 2 is your current class grade. The pass 2 and attempted is for you to see your grade after you attempted an assignment not due yet. So what do we mean by that? When you want to look at your grade, which is your online homework, right here, under the past due, this is the percentage that you've done correct. This is the percentage that you have done already, and the due date is gone. This one is the one that you have attempted, but the due date is not gone. These 2 numbers become identical at the end when everything is passed through. The next thing, to view any of your assignments, if you have an assignment you want to look at it or an exam you want to look at it, you will then see your assignment in review mode. Go to the gradebook, look at the number in blue. If you click on it, you can review the assignment. Also, the following PDF file will help you with answering in by Open Math. This is similar to the first assignment in case you need something in print. But if you do the first assignment at the very top class here, you don't need anything else. You would know exactly what to do. That's why I made it mandatory as the first assignment. Now, before we go to module 1, I want to show you one more thing. We have a pre-algebra review. This one is under module 0, will not be graded. So what do we have there? Integers. After that comes practice, fractions. Practice means, homework. Order of operations, so on and so forth. So we have a few sections here. I didn't want to overwhelm you with your homework. I put it here. If you haven't had math for a while, I highly recommend you do those. The grades will not count in the grade book. That's why it's under module 0. Your homework starts from here. Module 1 covers the first 3 chapters. By the way, then we have module 2, 3, 4, 5. We don't worry about that, because if you do module 1, trust me, by the time you finish it, you know exactly what to do with the rest of it. So starting with module 1, I'm going to click on chapter 1. Notice what comes up, learning outcome. Then the first 4 sections, we have the text, for example. If you want to read the text, remember, you can read the text, or you can watch my PowerPoints. Or even if you don't do that, if you trust yourself that by watching this, take a look at this one. It says 1.1 to 1.2 video lessons, 1-step and 2-step equations. If you click on that, notice what happens. First, there is a video, everybody. In the past, some students started with that. They didn't spend enough time on the PowerPoints or even the text, and this was good enough for them. If you think this is good enough,
In
that's
this
fine.
video, we're going to
It
attempt
starts
to
with a
begin
simple
solving linear
video,
equations.
and as you can see at the
In this
bottom,
introductory look,
4:59.
we're
It's
going to start
less than 5 minutes, class. Less than 5 minutes. Then it gives you a couple of questions. In this case, 4. Then we have the next video, and it gives you 2 more questions. And you can solve it. For example, in this one, 6 equals n minus 4. So I'm going to move the minus 4 to the other side, becomes plus 4 and 6. So n becomes 10. And I submit the question. Notice it check marks and says I'm right. By the way, I'm assuming you've already watched the video or you have an easy time with this. You go to this one for the 8 equals 8r. We need to divide both sides by 8. We get 6. We submit the question. And again, the same as introduction. I've done a couple of questions. Something comes up. I say, okay, I'm done. So again, you watch the video, remember that. I say, I'm done. It shows me I've done a couple of questions and I have a few that are unattempted. I can resume or I can exit. So I'm going to exit. So going back, I've done the video lesson, everybody. What do I do next? I do the homework. Again, in this case, 18 points. So I answer one of them. So if I move the 5, that means 1 minus 5, which is minus 4. By the way, even here, there is a video, a short video to watch. Some of the homework questions like this, they have a video. And so I'm going to submit the question. It says I'm correct. And again, I'm going to say done. Shows me that I've done one question, I'm correct. And I have many that are unattempted. I need to go back. I'm going to resume or exit. I'm going to exit. So you start with mandatory assignment immediately. Read the module 0 and what is available to you. Module 1. If you want, you can start with the video lesson. I highly recommend you give it a shot. If that's good enough, perhaps that's the best course of action instead of spending time on the PowerPoints or anything else. It's absolutely up to you. So let me do a quick recap. You go to the home page of your course in Canvas. There's a welcome message, class philosophy, announcements. The new announcements are coming up. The old ones were for the purpose of the orientation. We went over the syllabus. Under the modules, you can find the practice test, PowerPoints, and the key. Also, you can find the homework. Remember, the homework is done in MOM, My Open Math, or for that matter, even the exam. All of them are under the modules. And here's the office hours. So I'm going to quickly show you this left navigation bar, homepage, announcements, syllabus, modules. The main thing is modules and discussion. As far as you're concerned, these are the main 2 tabs that you need. Under the modules, you can find practice test, PowerPoints, key to practice test, and this is where you go to your My Open Math to do your homework and exams. I wish you all best of luck. Happy studying, everybody.